I'll just tell you right now, this episode has some violence. It also has some very, very funny details that I know you guys will enjoy. So with that being said, gentlemen, how are you doing?
When I heard Marie Ortolan before you got to all the child killing and the shooting and stuff, I was like, did they send in the green giant with a big blanket and he put it over his head and eat her whole?
I pronounced it the way you pronounce it in French, but it's Ortolan, like Hurtalon instead of Ortolan. Hurtalon is when you eat the bird, but its bones are made of iron and it pokes your mouth.
Like, how mad do you have to be to shoot someone 5 times in an era where you're like, oh, do you just wait there for a fucking second as you have to reload your pistol after every shot? Or are we talking like pirates with 6 different pistols strung along them with ropes?
You've got like an assembly line of goons en route back there, like one of whom is like blowing on the powder to dry it and handing the stuff over, giving you gun after gun. It's like a bucket brigade of excessive shooting.
I got some great news. Well, bad news, but also funny news the other day. As everyone knows, we have our live show in Cork on the 26th of September, and I booked my flights and accommodation, and I was like, oh, I'm going to stay until Monday because I want to watch the football match between Ireland and the team that shall not be named, Israel, when I saw the news that there will be no tickets sold to Irish fans.
What?
They've been completely banned from buying home and away tickets. So it's like for the safety of the Israel fans.
And they're going to be the most psychotic fucking football fans. That were like, that happened in Amsterdam a couple of years ago. Yeah. And like the Israeli ultras will just go and start shit in the areas surrounding the stadium and then claim they're innocent victims again.
This is why I was planning initially, and I said this to some of the listeners on the Discord, join the Discord for more updates, that on the Sunday night, the match is on the Sunday after the live show. I'm going to find a pub and go and watch it, and anyone wants to come along, come and watch it. But it sounds like it's going to be very, very busy in every pub because there's going to be no Irish fans at the actual game.
And then meanwhile, they go out and start shit, you know, once the match is complete, and it's like every single person under 30 in Ireland is basically the 2 lads with chairs, but like harder and more hardened to battle. It's like, enjoy that.
So if you come to the live show on the 26th of September, tickets are in the description, and you have some muffins left over after the show, feel free to bring them to the pub to throw at the TV.
Or feed them to me because I'll be hungry. Because I am definitely staying to watch this game.
Right. Well, now to jump back to a different kind of religious division causing problems. Here's the thing, guys. Calvinists were weird. Well, at least they were from the perspective of a 16th century French Catholic. And to us today, obviously, but still back then even more so. They deliberately dressed down, plain and humble. They read the scriptures in French and discussed them with women. They didn't attend mass nor engage in festivities for saint days. They were disturbingly, uncannily different. French people captured in altered, alien form, a baguette through a black mirror. We left off with the First War of Religion ending in stalemate after the catastrophic loss of almost all the Catholic leadership. A measure of toleration returned to France, but even among liberal Catholics, toleration had never seemed a good idea in the first place. This was not out of unfiltered religious bigotry. We have to return again to the early modern conception of the body politic. The human body may have different limbs and organs, not all perfectly matched, but performing different functions more or less in harmony. But a body cannot have 2 hearts or 2 heads. Or rather, if it does, it's safe to say that just like our modern day society, French Catholic society in the 16th century would see it and immediately assume something was off. Before the First Civil War, there was plenty of reasoned Catholic objection to any toleration of religious duality, let alone plurality, predicated on the understanding that national societies were rightly one single body, one singular object. No good could come from having 2 of anything. Consider the following 2 objections from 1562. Quote, toleration will create 2 diverse commonwealths, each opposed facing one another. Unquote. Second quote, toleration was, so to speak, an abortion suffered by France, like a dead child that will cause many tears in the entrails of the mother who produced it. Unquote. Bit weird, but hey.
Strong. Yeah.
Not a lot of people know this is how Deleuze and Guattari arrived at their conclusion as they looked at the French War of Religion and they said, no, this is a body with too many organs.
I think the thing here is, the idea of it, it's like tolerating other religions is basically like having a miscarriage. It's just like, Okay.
I'm sorry. Everything you're talking about is just makes me think of like JD Vance's fake Catholicism and how he is just still spiritually Protestant.
Brother, you have no idea how much of a segue you've just created. I mean, like a line. There's a through line. Believe me, I got you. I've got you on the way. We're going to make sure to go back to that. I wouldn't forget such a thing.
When you were talking about their style of dress, I just thought of like the French JD Vance looking at like another man with an ostentatious belt buckle and saying, "Ce n'est pas très cool."
Jean Duvalier Vance. I don't know what the JD stands for.
John Dickhead.
Fair du jorking de penis Vance. Non, JD Vance, il fait toujours le swagger jacking. Il a jacké mon swag. But he's made it worse somehow. He's basically he's jacked the swag of Puritans. He's jacked the swag of big hat guys. He's got all of the, scarlet letter politics, but in a really dorky and dweeby way. It's like getting burned at the stake by LeFou from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. All right, continuing on. The bodily metaphor of the stillbirth is particularly striking. Part of the reasoning behind the incessant religious violence and war of the 1560s was the uncanny, inhuman, diabolic, changeling presence of the parallel French of the Huguenots that was so difficult and mind-bending to process for devoted Catholics. There is an extent to which this is represented in the widespread desecration of corpses and determination to purge Huguenot elements from France by means that left behind no trace once they were completed, such as the pigs in the opening quote from Men in 1563, but equally in the widespread use of fire. And yet, religion is only part of the story of the sickness of the French body politic throughout the 1560s that led to it turning on itself like an overactive immune system, making itself worse in its extreme response to a novel illness. We touched on the financial woes caused by France's constant foreign wars during the first half of the 16th century, and on the demographic pressure on the countryside caused by a booming peasant population. We spoke a little bit about how patronage and bogus government positions helped to uphold French politics and distribute wealth, power, and loyalty to the crown through the nobility. But when put all together, these disruptions became increasingly severe challenges to the ordinary functioning of French politics and a valuable incentive, or at least to some, to engage in civil war, sedition, and religious massacres. It's worth bearing in mind, the French minor nobility felt like a class under attack in the mid-16th century. The threat seemed existential. Obviously, we know that they were being melodramatic and that they clung on to their social status right up until 1789 when the world truly turned on its head, but they couldn't know that in their day. Times were tough, and that was without the apocalyptic religious upheaval. The long series of Franco-Habsburg wars throughout the first half of the century had placed a massive financial strain on the nobility as well as the crown. Minor French nobles had to deal with the double whammy of rising prices at home and the expectation to outfit themselves and participate in foreign wars at their own expense. Inflation was perhaps only on average around 3% per year in this period, but these nobles struggled to raise their revenues to match their increased costs, especially as much of their income was from land rents. As should always be the case in any society that has rents anywhere, ever, rents tended to be fixed and difficult to adjust unilaterally. Without patronage from above or government posts, the minor nobility were between a financial rock and a hard place, which is to suggest that nowadays the dickhead landlord just wants to bet on Kalshi, but back in those days he actually had to outfit himself to go fight against the Germans somehow, which, I mean, I don't want my rent raised either way, but there is something funny to think of like multi-property interest only landlord dickhead being like, oh, I'm raising your rent because I'm being drafted in the army to go fight. I don't know. I'm going to go fight the Spanish in Benidorm, I guess. I got to buy a sword and a shield.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what's going to happen when they bring back conscription in the US and all of the jet ski dealers in Florida are going to get conscripted. It's like, oh my God, my over leveraged 6 houses that I, pay interest only on and like excoriate my tenants for not paying rent are going to have to go and die in a foreign war.
And they can't just drive up in the Cybertruck and like say, oh yeah, we know your toilet doesn't work, but it's going to be 3 to 6 weeks until it gets fixed.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth is basically doing Stalinism on the guy from Papa John, the founder of Papa John's. He's going to confiscate his gigantic ass house, make him go fight for the Strait of Hormuz. Papa John has probably the most egregious Midwest shit mansion house. It's horrific, and it got profiled quite significantly when he was a big outspoken opponent of Obama for obvious guy from Southern Indiana, Northern Kentucky.
They don't eat pizzas in Kenya,
and a big aficionado of saying the N-word during business meetings.
Yeah, it's weird. It is kind of a curse, and it's a curse that's gone global in the sense that if you walk down the street in any European city that has a Papa John's, it smells like the Papa John's in Westfield, Indiana that we used to get food poisoning from. Like, it's the same. It smells the same.